Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, Doing Business with DLA Troop Support, Opportunities Across the Supply Chain. I am Ishrat Nazmi, Business Development Manager and Senior Procurement Counselors at Connecticut APEX Accelerator, and I'll be your host for this session. This webinar is brought to you by Connecticut APEX Accelerator in collaboration with regional APEX partners. Before we begin, I want to highlight a few housekeeping notes. Please use the Q&A tool to submit your questions at any time. We'll answer your questions at the end. A copy of today's slides will be sent to all attendees after the webinar, and the session is unclassified and is being recorded. Without further ado, let's begin today's discussion. The Department of War APEX Accelerator Program is formally known as the Procurement Technical Assistant Program, was established in 1985 by the Department of Defense. Today, there are 90 plus APEX Accelerator across 49 states and territory, all working to make government contracting more accessible for the Department of Defense industrial base and broader federal contractors. Connecticut APEX Accelerator is funded through a cooperative agreement with the Department of War and the State of Connecticut Department of Economic and Community Development, or DECD. Our host agency is Southeastern Connecticut Enterprise Region, or sector. The Connecticut APEX Accelerator offers expert support in understanding and managing the complexities of government contracting. And our service includes one-on-one counseling, training and workshop, bid matching assistance, guidance on government contracting opportunities, capability statements, and we are providing all of these services and many more at no cost. We're here to help you position your business for success. And here's a more detailed list of our services. Connecticut APEX has several office locations throughout the state, which includes East Hartford, Rocky Hill, Milford, Bridgeport, and our headquarters in Groton, Connecticut. And we encourage you to stay connected with Connecticut APEX by following us on our social media pages, including LinkedIn and Facebook. You can also visit ctapex.org to register for no-cost government contracting assistance and access our learning library. Here are a list of our strategic partners in the states. And now let's meet the Connecticut APEX Accelerator team. Leading our team is the State Director, Marisol Herrera. Before we move forward, I want to take a moment to recognize our regional APEX Accelerator partners who are supporting outreach and small business engagement for today's webinar. All APEX Accelerator provides no-cost counseling and training to businesses working with the Department of War and broader federal government agencies. Supporting today's session, we're joined by the National Center for American Indian Enterprise Development, or NCAIED APEX, Monroe County APEX in New York, LaGuardia Community College APEX, Empire APEX, Maine APEX, and New Hampshire APEX. If you are a business located in this region, for further assistance with today's topic, please reach out to your local APEX Accelerator or connect with your assigned counselor. Here's a quick look at today's agenda. We'll start with an overview of the DLA Troop Support mission and role, followed by how troop support fits within the broader DLA enterprise. We'll then cover understanding of DLA major subordinate commands, vendor readiness, compliance, and we'll close with point of contacts and available assistance. I will then provide an overview of the APEX Accelerator services that are relevant to today's topic. Now let's begin our feature presentation today. We're so honored to have Mr. Patrick DeMeco. Patrick is the Deputy Director of Small Business DLA Troop Support, where he helps lead small business, socioeconomic programs, and drives industrial-based outreach to connect small business with DLA opportunities. So DLA Troop Support annually obligates a portion of its spending dollar to small business across food, clothing, medical, and equipment supply chain. With over 30 years of federal service, Mr. DeMeco brings deep contracting and supply chain experience and has been recognized with multiple awards of excellence in support of the warfighter. And now, without excuse me, without further ado, let's please welcome Patrick DeMeco. Welcome, Patrick.
Thank you. I appreciate the introduction and appreciate you guys hosting this webinar today. We really enjoy working with the CTAPEX accelerators. You guys provide an invaluable service to your client base and also the DLA too. We know we have a friend that if we have questions and need to a better understanding, a deeper understanding in a particular area or in maybe a business or a certain field, we know we can depend on you guys to give us some help where needed. So thank you. Okay, I'm going to just walk through a few slides to, it's not going to make you an expert on troop support, but this is meant to be an introduction. So at least if you've never heard of this before, you get to know DLA, what DLA's role is and how troop support fits into DLA and what makes us a little bit unique from the rest of the supply chains on what sorts of product lines we manage here. Jessica Wallace is our director. She may pop in, I'm not sure, but for now you have me. So once again, thank you. Next slide, please. So again, I'm not sure how many people out there have a lot of experience with DLA. I like to give a little overview, show you how we fit in. We are part of I keep wanting to say DOD, but we are part of the DOW. We are the fourth estate, where you have the Army, Navy, Air Force, the combat commands, and we fall under there as the fourth estate, Defense Logistics Agency. Next slide, please. So these are, this is a visual of some of our other MSCs, Major Subordinate Commands. I like this slide because rather than tell you about, how DLA troop support fits in, this kind of gives you a better idea of who's buying what. So we have troop support located here in Philadelphia. We are resident on a naval base in the middle of a Philly neighborhood, if you could believe that. There was also land and maritime in Columbus, Ohio, and aviation in Richmond, Virginia. They have since been combined by DLA command. They are one MSC now, still in two physical locations. So you have weapons support, Columbus Weapons System Aviation. If it mainly weapon system connected items, repairables, consumables. If it floats or rolls, the parts are managed out of Columbus. If it flies, it's coming out of Richmond, Virginia. We also have DLA Energy, distribution and disposition services. I put some numbers down there so you can kind of get an idea of DLA's commitment to small business. Collectively in FY25, we spent over $22 billion with small business, which equates to roughly about 50%, I believe, of our dollars were with small business. Next slide, please. So just a little bit more about troop support. Like I said, we are unique as far as DLA goes. We're unique because we have four separate, unique, distinct supply chains. We have medical, clothing and textile, subsistence, and the big supply chain that has the most diverse range of products is construction and equipment. Construction and equipment, it could be a little misleading, the name. We do not purchase construction services. It's literally construction related materials and various equipment, and the range of products they carry and offer is really more wide and diverse than any other supply chain in DLA. And I'll get into each supply chain, give you a better idea of it. We'll have a little profile slide for each one. So troop support in general, like I said, we're located here in Philadelphia. We have two other commands, Indo-PACOM and Europe and Africa has an office. As I said, we do have the 4 supply chains, and our procurements we are a customer sustainment activity. So we do all the procurement for the items in our supply chains, and the requirements are driven by our customers. We have some forecasting. As I walk through the supply chains, you'll understand why forecasting is not as prevalent in our supply chain as it would be, say, weapon system support. Some of these items are difficult to, they don't lend themselves to typical forecasting as we know it. And again, just make mention of, we procure the troop support, mostly consumable items, and there could be some incidental services that I'll give an example of something later on. We walk through the construction and equipment supply chain, but we buy products in response to our customers. Military is our largest customer, and but we also have a whole government approach where we support FEMA, Health and Human Services, the Forestry Services, just to name a few. In our subsistence supply chain, one of our big customers is the USDA, which supports school lunches and support various tribes and reservations. We're also a major player with some of the disaster relief domestically and around the world. We have programs to support wildfires. We obviously, with our medical supply chain, we're a very, very big piece of the COVID recovery efforts, and the various weather events that take place will help FEMA out with generators and all different sorts of humanitarian aid, like some of the rations that we have for to support people that are affected by these disasters. Next slide, please. So I'll start with subsistence. Last year, for FY25, they ran about 38% small business, which came out to just over $1 billion. As I said, it's those are pretty good numbers. Those are really good numbers, honestly. We have a tremendous effort within DLA to support small businesses, and here at Troop Support, we make up, honestly, about 56% of DLA's small business dollars take place right here in Troop Support amongst our 4 supply chains. So you see the pictures. We have the main programs that we have and what they support. I won't read them to you, but there's we do support feeding establishments, DFACs they call them, dining facilities. We have prime vendor programs that do that. A lot of those they're set up by region. We have some OCONUS projects as well. Not a real big area with small businesses, only because of the size and the level of effort for them, but there are small business opportunities in subcontracting. And we do have a lot of subcontracting here with the contracts that we award. They have a produce and a market fresh program. That's where the USDA falls into, where we service them, fresh fruits and vegetables and bread and pastries, dairy and soda. And then in our traditional contracting vehicles is where they cover some of the rations. You can see a few of them there, the group rations and the religious meals. We do all the holiday dinners. I took the slide out. I probably should have left it in there for just a picture of how we support Thanksgiving dinner for troops around the world, and it's really impressive. It takes a lot of preparation. They probably already started working, in January for next Thanksgiving. So it's really it's very impressive. So let's see what I want to say about here. I tried to find a couple opportunities just to give you an idea of the different opportunities that you can find in SAM and DLA.gov or DIVS. So I'm going to keep on talking, and I'm going to get my camera corrected here at the same time.
I wanted to say is that I'm surprised to see this number. This is wonderful to see how much the spending dollars on the small business for 2025 and the percentage.
It is good, and in some areas it gets better, depending on the supply chain and the supplier base, as you're well aware. But we do have just a tremendous effort to to make sure that we prioritize and look for opportunities in any way possible. We control it. So just to give you an idea of some of the opportunities that are out there, and again, I'm not sure who has familiarity with doing business with DLA or how to find opportunities, but we do post everything in DIBS, that's the DLA Internet Bid Board System, and sam.gov. When you're looking for some of these opportunities, if you see the solicitation with a T in the 9th position, T like Tom, that's an auto solicitation, and a lot of those are good. I point them out. I'm sorry. Oh, sorry. I point those out, the T bids, because a lot of times we'll have a procurement note in there, which will allow something to go out as a small business set aside. It might go out as a woman-owned small business set aside with a cascade feature in there, which means if a woman-owned small business offer doesn't come in, it's acceptable for whatever reason, a buyer can just cascade right down and pick the next small business that has an acceptable price and product. This is good. It saves the buyer time, more efficient with the awards. Also, so if you don't qualify as a woman-owned small business or a service disabled veteran-owned, but you are small and you see that cascading note, you can make an offer because it could be evaluated if they don't get an acceptable response by the primary set aside. So I just want to throw that out there. And those are in the solicitations that you see at T in the 9th position. So for food, I got to pick it up a little bit. I think I'm spending a lot of time on this one, but again, food service equipment provided in usually traditional type contracting. I found a lot of opportunities out there for some electric ranges and mechanical freezers and whatnot. There's a source of salt notice out there for coffee makers and hand truck and conveyor system, all on sam.gov. So just go out there, make sure you put in, search using subsistence, and you'll see the DLA opportunities coming up. And I have to mention, there's a pre-solicitation notice for fresh fruit and vegetables for non-DOD customers in Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island. That's out there now. It's current. And when I saw that, my eyes lit up a little bit because of, spending time with you guys today. I want to make sure I made note of that. There's one local to everybody on this call. There's also a request for information out there for fresh bread and bakery for support in Anchorage, Alaska. I bring that up because it's the only one I found, RFI, but I want to make a point of source of salts, RFIs. If you see them and you have some input, especially the RFIs, answer them, send them back. They help shape the solicitations. And sometimes we're looking for help. If we're buying something in a new way or buying a new product, any DLA command, if they're looking for something that they're not quite sure how the solicitation be shaped, even down to the way it's packaged, there's that. You guys are the industry, you're the experts. If there's questions out there, you could help us get that so it goes out right the first time. All right. Next slide, please. Move on to clothing and textile. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, sorry about that. I said a little pause for a second. Clothing and textile. That is seriously unique in the world of troop support because it's the one supply chain that still functions primarily in the traditional contracting sense. They don't have any prime vendor programs or anything like that. They're all one-off buys and long-term contracts. Once again, I have to kind of cover everything because I don't know what everybody's experience level is out there. There's something called the Berry Amendment, and it applies to all DOW contracts, and it goes back to 1950 something, and it's a requirement for a domestically sourced product all the components and the manufacturing must be domestically sourced. Clothing and textile is affected more than any other supply chain because of the fabrics and the manufacturing portion. Excuse me. So keep that in mind. We have a lot of people that call up would love to do business with us, and we'd love to do business with them. But once, trying to comply with that domestic part is it's a challenge because we're buying for a small population of people. When you think about the military, is it big? Yes, it is big. In the scheme of things, when you're buying clothing, though, you have a lot of different sizes and all sorts. You got four branches of the military, and they all have their own unique style and heritage. That pocket goes east and west, somebody else's pocket goes north and south. It's a challenging supply chain. Those are just some of the different situations that have to be considered. And it makes it, I won't say difficult, but a challenge. But they do great work over there. 64% small business participation, and again, Barry compliance is a must. We do field uniforms, combat uniforms. They do a lot of personal items, ecclesiastical, tents and the tent systems, sleep systems. If there's anybody out there that is interested in the clothing and textile, C&T, as we like to call it, and their supply chain, there's pre-solicitation out there right now. Actually, there's quite a few of them for boots. They're looking for, I think, jungle style boots and cold weather boots. There's all variations out there. So you can take a look at that. Also, if you're seriously thinking that you could, maybe work with the clothing and textile supply chain, we have an event coming up next month, March 3rd and 4th. It's called the JAPBI. It's a Joint Advanced Planning and Briefing to Industry. And that is a great event because DLA is there, our customers are there, and industry's there, along with SBA. And we're going to have our local Apex person there as well. So it's a good event. I think space is probably somewhat limited. It's at a hotel. It's at the Doubletree in Cherry Hill. And if anybody has any information or a request, more information on that, you could go on the clothing and textile website or come through our supply tracker that I'll show you later on, and you'll have access to all DLAs, the different commands. Next slide, please. 1125. Right, I'm gonna pick it up a little bit. Construction equipment, is the supply chain I was referencing before. 91% small business over there. I would tell you that number it's driven a lot by, we have prime vendor contracts. We have quite a few of them over there. They are tremendous tools for contracting officers and customer support. They allow a lot of flexibility, and they allow our customers to get the latest and greatest products in certain areas, be it maintenance, repair, and operations, or special operations, firefighting, and they have some contract opportunities. There's the special operations prime vendor program that was set aside for small business using an NMR waiver from the SBA. We were lucky, I think, and fortunate at that time to get that. I do not believe that's going to be as easy to obtain going forward. So this is the Spec Ops program really provided a great boost to our small business performance. But even without that, that 91% would drop a little bit, but they are very, very good over there. We are very, very supportive of small business, and it shows in all our numbers. So with construction equipment, they have, like I said, the prime vendor programs, maintenance, repair, and operations, incidental services. Suppose somebody orders a heater or an HVAC unit and it has to sit on a platform has to be built. That would be an incidental service. But again, we don't buy any building services. Troop support doesn't own our building. We're a tenant on a base, as I said, so we don't have any need really for any building type services or maintenance type services. But the other DLAs do own their buildings, and that's where they might be able to have some opportunities for some of those other services that you might supply. So again, I had to point that out because I think the name can be misleading sometimes. So with the prime vendor program, they have what they call the FSG 80 contract. They do all the paints, sealants, and thinners. And we have the metals contract, the lumber contract. You see them there. It's very, very diverse programs. Long-term contracting is where they support the generators that I was mentioning for FEMA during some of the, the weather events and whatnot. And we also have a heavy equipment program where we purchase dump trucks, fire trucks, material moving equipment. It's that's a pretty big program as well. We support DLA nuclear enterprise efforts. We purchase a lot of one-off type purchase orders. Don't forget about those T bids. There's a lot of combined set asides in the C&E too. Containers, we have some opportunities out there for containers, the big shipping ones. I found a pre-solicitation notice for the 20 by 8 by 6 containers. So if you're in that business, you know what I'm talking about. The Tricons, take a look, sam.gov, they're in there. We have some RFP notices for motion detectors. And I also noticed a synopsis for a pre-solicitation effort for some fiber rope assembly. Maybe if anything like that rings a bell or is relative to what you're doing, please go in there and take a look at it. And you could use sam.gov. You could search a number of different ways to find these opportunities. See, 91%. As of today, by the way, that 91% for today, that was for FY25. Right now, today, I checked the numbers and they're rolling at about 89% small business. Next slide, please. Medical supply chain will be the last one I talk about. That's the fourth of our four. Again, T bids are there. I noticed they have some rechargeable battery solicitations and burn care kits. I want to throw that out there because they do support those types of items. Medical, they have prime vendor programs. They are very, very big. Small businesses can get into them. The prime vendors are the two big guys in the industry, Owen Bergen, is that it? Owen Minor, and sorry, the name fails me right now, and Cardinal. If anybody wants to participate and make their products available, it's kind of like an Amazon type setup but Owen Minor and Cardinal would be the prime vendor, and your product would just be available under their name. There's an ECAT program, electronic catalog, usually more friendly to small business because they of all the vehicles they use in medical, ECAT covers the widest range of products. Like you may find some types of products supported in prime vendor areas, some products are supported by national contracts or traditional contracting. ECAT has a mix of everything. They have a program for optical, dental, prosthetics, med-surg type equipment, surgical devices, and they also support capital equipment too. Some of the big machinery. They set up whole hospitals, and DHA is our biggest customer at Defense Health Agency, and I believe they're charged with trying to consolidate and wrap up a lot of the military's requirements, which helps us with the way we procure, and it ensures that all the requirements are captured properly. What else? Pharmaceuticals is another obviously a big one for the medical supply chain, and I noticed they do have a lot of pre-solicitation notices out there, especially with national contracts. So if that is part of your business, or if that's the business that you're into, maybe take a look at it. Medical does have a lot of small business opportunity. Probably the lowest number we have as far as small business involvement goes, but they're still at about 10%. And there's not a whole lot of small business pharmaceutical manufacturers out there, so it kind of stands to reason. But right now they're just over 7%, so they still, again, their small business efforts are pretty significant. That's about it I have for our supply chains. Again, it wasn't to make you an expert, just an overview, kind of give you an idea, flavor for what we do. But after those 4 slides, it you should have an idea if troop support may be a match for one of you out there. Next slide, please. So I just have a few other informational slides that has to be mentioned. We talk a lot about DLA, how much we buy, how much we spend with small business, and some people are probably out there wringing their hands ready to go. But we're not. We have some requirements that to do business with DLA and to access a lot of our data because we do support the military and it's the government. It's not as easy as just showing up and getting a contract. I will make mention about our medical supply chain. I failed to point out that a lot of the programs they have for the products that are purchased there, you can make your product available, but sales are not guaranteed. I have to foot stomp that. Sales are not guaranteed. Marketing by any vendor or supplier is paramount. If you're not out there hitting the sidewalk and connecting with our customers who we can help you with, where to locate, you're not going to get sales. So just keep that in mind. It's there's no guarantees when your product is available in ECAT or a prime vendor. So that was important. I don't want to go on without mentioning that. Some of the tech data, and I mentioned the JCP program. If there's a part numbered items or government-owned drawings that have to be secured, we have a place called C folders. Collaboration folders is the real name. It is a location to house this protected material. They have drawings, specs, procedures, whatever technical or engineering type element that's connected to a product. If it's protected and if it's not available to just disperse, it's going to be in C folders. You have to be registered in DIBS to access that. And again, it's tech data packaged in there as well. It's not typically classified. I have unclassified data there, but it is if it has a military application, that's when it becomes protected. So I have about JCP, the Joint Certification Program, that's now been kind of increased to an enhanced joint certification program. That is the sharing of data, the ability to access the data, and then also required for export control abilities too. If you have to share the data with a potential subcontractor, for example. So JCP, I wanted to point out that certification is valid for 5 years before you would have to recert again. And the DIBS, when you go into DIBS, you'll be able to access C folders from there. It's pretty easy to navigate, but DIBS has pretty good instructions on there as well. And again, all the security controls are guided by the IT standards there. That I think you'll probably hear a little bit more about that NIST in a couple of slides, even by the Apex office. Next slide, please. Cybersecurity Maturity Model Certificate, CMMC for short. Basically, it is to protect the integrity of the systems. It's coming out in 3 phases. They just had that final rule about a month or so ago where it's going to be, the dates are out there, the time frames of when a vendor would have to be level 1 or 2 or 3. And I put on there, how often the assessments have to take place, and the affirmations, I think, are yearly, I believe. But you can take a look at that, and there's like the little graph down at the bottom to show you when those different phases will have to be implemented, the time frame which they'll be implemented. Level 1 or 2 is self-certification, and then 2 and forward might require third-party assistance. I know this is a great concern to everybody. It's one of those things that has to be, but there's help out there. And Project Spectrum, if you haven't heard of that, that's a great place to start. If you could advance the slide. Free service. It's a free platform. You can get on there, register, and they have videos, tutorials, and all sorts of support. If you're wondering or stressing out over anything, please go on that website and check it out. There will be help for you. I have the links down there, and they even give you tools. There's some tools that will help as far as if there are costs incurred. I think it helps to estimate some of that. But there, as far as I know, there is some aid there as well. I'm not going to promise financial aid. I don't know, but I know that they were very sensitive to the small business and their struggle to comply with all this. And this Project Spectrum is supposed to help to relieve a lot of that that extra all the requirements and at least guide you through it. So if you are dealing with CMMC issues or struggling with it, please check out Project Spectrum. Excuse me. If you haven't yet, please do so. Next slide, please. This just I didn't know what else to call it besides to do. If you have not yet done business with the government, federal government, DLA in particular, here's just some things you would need to get started. You got to register in sam.gov to get your cage code and your unique identifier, the UEI, entity identifier. That's what it is. Once you get into SAM, then you can start looking for opportunities. You can get a lot of information there. With the RFIs and the source of sought I mentioned before, please answer them if you have some serious input. If it's relative to what you do, please respond, because that helps us going forward to shape our solicitations. And we're asking the right questions of industry. Register with SBA. That sounds like something of course, right? But once you register with them, try to connect with them and get your profile set up. It's keywords are so important when people are doing market research, and they can help you to really get your keywords and your profile set up right, where your net will be bigger. You can capture more opportunity that way. Stay connected with Apex. They're wonderful. DIBS, I mentioned DIBS. You have to be in DIBS for C folders, and also with DIBS, everything will be in there. All the opportunities will be put in there. I think everything over 25,000 goes to SAM. But you can set DIBS up where you'll get automatic notifications if you get your profile just right. You may need help with that as well. Check with your Apex people, because if your search is too general, it could be like drinking water out of a fire hose. There's new opportunities posted every hour, and you want to make sure you get exactly what you need. Capability statements are very important, especially your first time coming into DLA. One page is best. Reference anything you may have done, even as a subcontractor, if it's relative to what to what you're trying to offer DLA. Just remember to tailor your statement to what it is you want to offer. Find out who's buying what, follow the money, so to speak. A lot of tools to get there to know who's buying a particular product that you might be offering. And again, subcontracting experience is very valuable too. And you can start, that helps get that score going for new vendors. Definitely have your UEI, cage code, and your primary NAICS, have them prominent somewhere. Those are just a few tips. This is not an official list, but this is based on experience. These are good tips to get that together. Next slide, please. Opportunities again, sam.gov, DIBS, everything's out there. Sources sought. Anything that's not set aside, that's okay. Look for the set asides if you're a small business. But if you're making an offer on something that's not set aside, we got the rule of two is in play. If something has gone out, I mentioned a conveyor belt, if only one small business is ever offered on that conveyor belt, it's always going to be unrestricted. Now, all of a sudden, another person comes in, makes an offer, even if it doesn't go to a small business. The next opportunity, they're going to have to consider a set aside if they're two separate small businesses. So keep that in mind too. You might be creating the next small business set aside. Subcontracting, great way to get involved, get experience before becoming a prime, because there's a lot of other things to consider. DLA's got a lot of great tools. Our small business website, which is down there on the bottom of the chart, will tell you all about finding offers, how to make offers, crafting your response. If you get a contract and there's any testing or anything else done, payments, shipping, tutorials on everything, and anything that could be a problem. It could hold something else up. If you're not sure how to pack something, that could hold everything else up, obviously, the vendor shipping model, and it would ultimately hold up invoicing. So it's important to get familiar with everything. And please, please, please use your Apex offices. They can help you with that. Apex used to be lined up under DLA. They no longer are. They're under DOW, and that gives them great power because they can help you where we can't. We are a procurement activity. We can't give you guidance on making offers. They can. We can help you. We can lead you to where the opportunities are. But after that, as a procurement activity, we have to pull back. Apex, Apex, Apex. Next slide, please. Here's TKO events, training, knowledge, and opportunity. Some are live, most are virtual. In fact, I think they all are. Some are taped. You can do it at your own pace, self-paced. Everything that I just mentioned about packaging, wide area workflow, all that stuff, VSM, vendor shipping model, there is always a session for something. So if you go on our DLA website, you could find these opportunities and sign up for them. And as you can see, there is one next week for just finding opportunities and how to navigate dips. So really good stuff. And the guy, Ryan, that teaches a dips course is really, really good at that. Next slide, please. Our office, what can we do for you? We'll help you out any way we can. We have a supplier tracker now for DLA that we ask everybody to go through that, and it'll be on the next slide. We'll have that link for you. What that does is that will get you in the system. It's monitored by DLA headquarters. If you're not sure who you should be talking to, aviation or weapons support, DCSO, energy, troop support, you put a little something about yourself. There's like literally 9 fields. And then if it doesn't send it to our office on its own, somebody at headquarters will look at it and they'll assign it to the proper MSC. So, there's that. We can help you once you contact us. We can help you with some POCs, prime vendor, subcontracting opportunities. If your products are right for that program, we'll get you those prime vendor contacts, and then that subcontract arrangement will be your own. DLA doesn't get involved there. Industry events, we can help you if we have any coming up, and facilitate communications with our acquisition people, packaging people. And if you're stuck, have a contract, and you have a technical issue, we could help you out finding the product specialist. Next slide, please. Save this slide. This is what I was talking about. The DLA website, the small business website, is new and improved and absolutely loaded with information, tutorials, videos, news articles, how to. I want to work with defense with DLA distribution. How do I get involved with them? There's going to be a supplier pathway there, and it's going to tell you, okay, you should have this certification, and then you should do this, that 1, 2, 3. It's really, it's better than it's ever been. So the supplier tracker is on the right-hand side. You fill out some of them drop downs, very simple stuff, and it will either get to the right command or it will go to somebody and they'll figure it out and send it. And this will happen in minutes. This isn't weeks. This is like minutes. So, and then somebody will come back to you as soon as they can with whatever information it is. If you're a new vendor trying to figure out how to get started, they'll send you some information and perhaps a phone number or an email to help walk you through that. Next slide, please. And there's just a visual to try to capture everything troop support provides our military, between subsistence, medical, clothing and textile, construction equipment. The products we provide to them are extremely important to the warfighter, and that's why industry, a nice, strong, resilient industrial base is important to DLA. So I hope this information has been helpful. And that I believe is my last slide. If you could just page forward one more time. Yep, that's it for me. I talked enough. I'm going to shut up now and just stand by. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Patrick, for that informative session, and it was a lot of information. And one of the key takeaway for me is that I didn't realize that troop supports agencies beyond defense. You know what you talked about, the HHS and FEMA. That's great information. Um, Apex Accelerator supports, you know, the all of defense and also broader federal agencies. So you've just heard from, Patrick, everything that the troop support buys and what they need and some of their challenges are. This is where Apex Accelerator comes in to help business translate that information into real actions. When we say Apex Accelerator supports defense industrial base, we specifically refer to DLA focus contracting assistance. That's everything that Patrick was talking about. We also help broader federal government agency contracts, but this program is all about defense focus contracting. Our role is to help companies enter, survive, scale within the DoW supply chain. This support goes beyond identifying bids and proposal writing. The Apex Accelerator provides end-to-end contract readiness counseling, focusing on systems, compliance, and strategic position and to compete in the defense marketplace. So our service basically, what we provide is first when a contractor comes to us, we help them to get ready for the federal contracting market, identifying what products what products and service they offer to federal and DOW, and then mapping those correct industry codes such as the NAICS code, their NSM codes or national stock numbers, FSC codes. So we help you to understand what those codes are that is relevant to your product and service, and then we help you to identify and prioritize your target agency buying commands, understanding of the how DOW customer buys what you sell. Contract readiness also has to do with including registration, certification, cybersecurity awareness. That means like registering into all systems like SAM.gov, DIBS, you know, everything that you need to register in, how to understand those systems. So all of these efforts allow a contractor to position themselves for market entry. And having guidance really is a key factor in this space. Apex Accelerator helps businesses navigate the complexities of contracting. So Patrick talked about all of the systems that you are seeing right now here on this page: DIBS, SPRS, PI, JCP. So one of the most common place where we see capable companies struggles is after they identify an opportunity is compliance driven platform like DIBS, where technical data, quality requirements, and system accuracy really matters. And Apex Accelerator provides hands-on, one-on-one training to help companies navigate the DLA Internet Bid Board or DIBS. In addition to DIBS, companies must also register in key systems like they must have JCP certifications, PI, and SPRS registration. So as a defense industrial based contractor, specifically manufacturers of parts must access to the technical data, what Patrick was talking about. You in order to access your technical data, you need to have access to C folder. In order to have full access to your technical data with export control, you need to be registered in the JCP portal, which is the Joint Certification Programs, which gives you access to controlled unclassified informations and export control data. You would also need to register in PI and SPARS. So Apex Accelerator counselors can assist you with understanding these requirements and setting your account in these systems. I want to talk a little bit about the FAR 52.204-21, and Patrick explained really nicely what is the necessary, it's needed for really working with the government now. It's FAR 52.204-21 is really the basic safeguards. This is the starting point for your cybersecurity requirement. So it covers the federal contract information. So I want to briefly just touch on this because a lot of the troop support buys includes commercial items and supply chain contracts. You will need, this is where you want to start. FAR 52 requires contractor and subcontractor to implement basic safeguard controls to protect federal contract information, or FCI. This applies to, when CMMC is not explicitly required. So in the contract, in many cases, this is just the minimum cybersecurity baseline for doing business with DLA. For Defense Industrial Farm, it's important to understand that FAR 52.204-21 is often the starting point, while the NEST 800, SP 800, 171, and CMMC is built upon on top of that. So the CTAPEX helps businesses understand how these requirements connects, what applies to their contracts, and how to prepare without over and under scoping cybersecurity investments. Next, I do want to talk about the broader cybersecurity, or CMMC, or cybersecurity maturity model readiness. So cybersecurity is no longer an option, like Patrick has explained in his previous slides. It is now a core requirement for doing bidding, for performing, for subcontracting under DoD contracts. What I want to briefly just clarify the difference between the FAR 52 and the NEST SP 800 171 is as a the common difference is that FAR 52 is established for basic safeguard, as I said before, for federal contract information, and in contrast, DLA suppliers and subcontractors that handles control unclassified information, or CUI, like those technical data, people who need to access C folder, they need to be in compliance with the NEST SP 800 171. This alignment must be validated through the NEST 800 171 self-assessment, with result posted in the supplier performance risk system, or SPAR. So basically, if you need to be in compliant with CMMC level 1, level 2, level 3, level 2, level 3, you need to have a NEST score. That score needs to be uploaded in a system called SPARS. And when it comes to assistance with those systems, the Apex Accelerator can help you navigate those space. I do want to talk about another service that we provide, which is the bid match service by Outreach System, which is an Apex Accelerator service at no cost. Bid match is an automated opportunity match tool. It scans multiple federal, state, and local procurement systems and match solicitations to your NAICS code, your keywords, and your capability. Basically, it's doing a lot of work for you. It's bid match helps reduce the noise. Instead of going to a lot of systems looking for opportunities, it's sent to you via email, and it's curated opportunities that is exactly aligned with what you sell. And this service is offered to all Apex clients at no cost. So it's a 3-step process. You work with your Apex counselor to set up your bid match profile. You receive email and you monitor and review your opportunities from those emails, and then you engage with your Apex counselors to review those opportunities. With that, I want to move to our Q&A sections. I want to see if there's questions in the Q&A box. Let's see. I am looking. So Patrick, do you have are you seeing the questions? I want to look at review some of the questions.
I can see them. Would you like me to just go down them and?
Go ahead, if you could. Yes.
I believe the first one's from Renee Coppola. Does troop support ever have in-person events in Philadelphia? The JAPBI is the only one that we have right now. There's something that's in development now for medical. I just found out yesterday that's not in Philadelphia. It's going to be in Maryland, not too far from here. I'm not quite sure on the details or even what it's aimed at. If I find anything out about it, I'll try to connect with the Apex office to let them know. But I don't want to really sit here and try to promote that. But right now, it's the JAPBI is the feature event for Philadelphia and C&T. Sometimes there may be another type of industry event that they have. It could be virtual. Not a whole lot in person, but they will be promoted. So keep checking out the DLA website, troop support website. Every command has their own website as well that you can reach out, you can connect to from the DLA one. So the next one is from Marissa. Let's see, for a small machine shop that manufactures precision metal cutting tools. And what are the most effective pathways for selling these? Great question. We used to have industrial hardware here, but we did purchase a lot of that. And I'd say, hey, let's talk some more. We do have some fasteners and weapons related material that is purchased in C&E, but so look at construction equipment, look at weapons support, Columbus and aviation, Columbus and Richmond, Virginia, excuse me. They buy a lot of precision type parts and with the cutting tools and everything else, that's definitely what you want to look at. Weapons support first, and then also check out construction equipment. How does DLA approach the use of material handling products such as pallets, totes, containers that can be customized solution for any issues associated? It's another great question, honestly. We do buy all of that stuff. Once again, I'll say the military drives our requirements. If there's something new, some new variation that you'd like to buy, DLA, I say DLA buys, we don't shop, if that makes sense. Our military tells us what our customers tells us and dictates what to buy. So if there is a new great pallet that you have, recycled material, say, we're gonna find the pallet users and direct you to them and pitch it to them, because if the customer really wants it, they're going to find a way to make it available. If through DLA, maybe they'll make it available as a commercial product through a prime vendor program, make it a little easier to get to. Maybe they want it stock listed, they want to get it into the system. The customers would initiate an NSN, a national stock number. So what I would say is, if you have something new, who's using it, and talk to them. Their customer is our customer is ultimately going to be your customer. From the chat, is there any room for facilities and transportation services for construction and equipment? Facilities and transportation services. I'm glad you brought that up, because I did make a note of it. I meant to say it earlier. With relation to transportation, DLA does not really make their transportation arrangements. That is done by a place called Transcommand, Transportation Command, or Transcom for short. I'll put their small business website in the link here. So if you have anything with transportation related, you could go to them. Construction and equipment, like I said, our supply chain is going to, if it's a regular product exported traditionally, there will be instructions in there already. It's going to be like consolidated shipment the way they normally do. If it's a prime vendor thing, then the prime vendors or the subcontractors will ship that material out in accordance with the solicitation. But I will put that other Transcom thing in there. how can we connect, Mr. D'Amico? I would ask you to come through that supplier tracker, please. Go and you could say that you heard me on a call or something. You'd like to go to me and just send it to troop support, any supply chain at troop support. I'll say what's so good. It's not that we're trying to filter calls or anything. That supplier tracker, we're rolling up everybody's information. And if a market research tool is needed, if somebody needs somebody that does what you do, we could go in there and be like, okay, we found that this vendor came in. So it helps to roll you into a database pretty much where we know that you're out there. So please do that, and then we can connect from there. What DLA would be interested in? Modern data warehousing with no ETLs installs in days, operational too. Small semi-structure. The one for Robert Hereford, please. I'm going to ask you to go to the supplier portal, please, because I'd like to read more. If you could probably put an attachment in there too, if you have a capability statement, that'd be great. Supplier pathway or a tracker. That's what it's called, tracker.
So I think with that, I want to move on to the next section. And this was excellent. All the questions were excellent, and thank you, Patrick, for answering and reading and answering those questions. The whole presentation was very informative. It was so needed because there's so much confusions and many of us that helps businesses that goes through the DIB systems and wants to work with defense logistics agency. There's always a lot of questions, and you helped answer a lot of those questions. Follow CTAPEX on social media, including Facebook and LinkedIn. Also, don't forget to visit the Connecticut Apex calendar page for our upcoming events and workshops. And I want to say we look forward to seeing you at our next future events. And again, I am Ifrat Nazmi, and thank you all for really participating and being engaged with your questions and your time. And Patrick, I can't thank you enough to really take the time and give us this overlook on how to do business with DLA Troop Support. And we really would like to work with you more and be connected with you in the future. Thank you so
We
much.
would too. Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to speak to everybody. Apologize for running through, but it's high level, and we're happy to do something in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.